time with your loved ones before they go away. You know one regret I have in my life? It's I never thanked my father before he died. I never sat down and said, Dad, I really thank you. And that's my really regret. I have no other regret except I never thanked my father before I died. And also, we are not successful unless we have a successful family. This is my wife. Yana works for American Express in New York. That's her husband. Yanji, she works in, she's going to a master's degree in London. This is me. And then this is my second daughter, who works in a performance venue in London. These two went to University of Pennsylvania. She went to Pomona, and then also to UCLA. And she went to her master's degree in London Economics, School of Economics. I'm not saying that studying is success, but having a family that is successful is very important. And that you are successful actually is contributing to the happy feeling of your family. So this is what I did, right? Told you that you should consider being an entrepreneur or owner-operator, because that's what helps the environment to the recovery. And then, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Po Chung, for the very thought-provoking speech. And now it's the Q&A session. And if you have any questions, please raise up your hands and we will pass the mic to you. Any questions to ask our speaker? Hello, Mr. Chung. Thank you for your very touching lecture. And I just wonder, because the major in your university is visual, and I just wonder what else did you learn in your university except for the knowledge that would contribute to your life, future life?
Actually, it was during the late 60s. I spent 6 years in university. I couldn't come back to Hong Kong because there was riots in Hong Kong. And I start taking courses that was not related to my fisheries. I took philosophy, I took English literature, music appreciation. This is what we call a general education or liberal arts education. So if you have really a broad collection of tools, every domain, every subject or every domain, the economist has their way of solving problems. Psychologists have their way of problem solving, sociologists, political science. So if you have many bags of solutions or way of solving problems, you can be more creative in a way that you can take that solution and then apply to what you're doing. That's what I learned. The other thing I learned in university was even though I had to work through university, I was deeply involved in student government and also the social organizing of events. And that made me a lot of friends, not only that. Then I started learning how to manage events, how to communicate. And by doing that, I found that mixing with people from various cultures, deep down inside, they're not that different from us. They're not that different from us. You know, if you look at all the trusts, you know, all the don't lie, don't, those are the things that Confucius said 2,500 years ago. This is what I learned when I was in university. It's don't lie, be polite, and be somebody who's trustworthy. That's basically, other than the subject you're learning, it's all these peripheral things that you learn. Now we have a word for it. It's called EQ. Right? It's the EQ that I learned. Right? At that time, we don't have a word. At that time, it was more like IQ, be smart, you know, make a lot of money. And now we found that people actually has higher EQ, make more money than the IQ people. IQ people work for the EQ people. It's called the techies work for the fussies. So, you know, I was a fussy. My father was the one who pushed me and said, you have to do a science, you have to do a science. So I did fisheries. But that was a compromise. My mind was more like, I like people, I like what they think, I study drama, I like to read literature, because literature and drama is the manifestation of how people deal with each other, how people deal with the conflict, inside conflict, conflict with the environment, and conflict with their purpose, in conflict of their fellow beings. So that's what I learned.
Mr. Chung, for your nice sharing. I'm Jenny from Chinese University of Hong Kong. Very nice to meet you. Well, I have a question to ask you regarding competition.
Yes.
I'm sure to survive in a competition requires a lot of hard work or require a lot of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about treating your so-called enemies as your friends, at the same time maintain a very good business?
I guess there are two kinds of competition. One kind of competition is when you're competing with people that you don't know who they are. You know, like in a sitting in a exam, that's competition. You just have to do the best you can on the exam. Right? That's one kind of competition. The other kind of competition actually is in business. When it's business competition, remember one thing. We do business with people we like. That's finally it. So if you're competing with the next guy, be nicer than the next guy. Now whether, and also it doesn't really hurt you to be nice to your competition. Because one day, who knows, he may ask you for a job, or you may ask him for a job. Yeah. So, treat people nicely, and I don't think you will ever lose by treating people nicely. I saw another hand here, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. I am Esther from Fudan University, and I went to exchange in HKU in 2008. I have a question for you. And what do you think is more important? Is it doing the right things or doing things right?
Doing the right things is for people that are starting out. Right? The follow are doing right things. When you become a leader, then you have to do, no, this is do things right, and that's do the right thing. And so it's basically which position you are in. You have to do things